Hey class, welcome to It's a little intimidating, you know? Welcome to English 1C, where we're gonna learn how to think critically and then write what we've thought critically about, and then look at what we've written and then rewrite it, because, I don't know, do you think thinking and writing critically is something that takes little effort? Hey, welcome to the apocalypse, where you're gonna learn how to think critically. Gosh, such a presumptuous thing. Be like, I'm gonna teach you how to think. It sounds really conceited. All right, so let's start off by saying I don't think critically all the time. A lot of times I think with my emotions and I am caught off guard and I am deceived because it is easier to not think critically. But I do know how to think critically. And so in this class, we're at least going to make sure that you have the tools to think critically, and then hopefully you're going to use them more than I do and more than you have in the past. Because let's be real, look anywhere on social media, look at your parents, look at your friends, look at your colleagues, your coworkers, your classmates, your world leaders. They're not thinking very critically right now. The chances of them thinking rationally right now, I think they can speak for themselves. I think you've seen them speak for themselves. So we'll just move on. Let's look at the syllabus, yeah? Let's do that. Cool. See if you want to stay around with me. There it is. All right, so as you can see, there's a syllabus behind me. Let me make it a little bigger. Maybe I should make me a little smaller. Oh, there I go. I'm shrinking. This is not funny. All right, so this is the semester we're in. We're in fall 2020. It has been quite a year already. You've survived to this point, and now I'm sure you've already been challenged this year, but we're going to hopefully challenge you in a way that will help you. I know Kelly Clarkson sang a song, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." That all depends on if you lose limbs or brain cells or family members. So we're going to try and make it so you lose as little as possible in this class while gaining as many tools and good habits as possible so that you can succeed not just in college, but in life here. And that's not supposed to be cheesy. That's just, I don't want to bump into you in a month or a year or 10 years and realize that you went through my whole entire class and became one of the people that I hate on the internet. So hopefully I can help you as much as possible to become not just a person who can think and write critically, but someone who isn't human trash and also doesn't look at people as human trash. There we go. All right, so as you can see up here, we've got two classes. Some of you are in the Synchronous Saturday class. This is your CRN number, you should know. I don't know why you signed up for a Saturday class. All of you in this class, yeah, you'll have to be there. We're gonna have Zoom calls at this time. Maybe it doesn't have to go this long, depending on if we cover all the ground that we need to. I'm going to upload more content than just us having live sessions. It's going to be stuff where I'm going through things like in this setting here. It's cut off. You can tell where the camera's cut off, obviously. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to teach you how to think critically, and in the process, try to keep my forehead from shining the whole time. Because it's hot, it's still summer, it's just gonna get worse. I've got lights on me right now to make it so that this whole green screen thing works, which is a little excessive, I know. But hey, you're paying for this, or the government's paying for this, and so maybe I should try. Other thing is, this is my email right up here, but the best way to get a hold of me is through Canvas messaging. My office hours are tentative. This is not necessarily when I will be meeting with you guys, but it will be through Zoom calls. So maybe we make it so that the office hours are around this time. Half of the class will cover all the ground then, and then anyone who needs one-on-one information or working through material, then I can be there for you then, or maybe Tuesday nights is best for you. It's not so much about me here, it's about when would be the best time for office hours for you guys. So maybe you guys can take a poll, tell me what you think. Anyway, so the first thing that you probably care about, and I already said in that announcement that I sent out to everyone on Canvas, there is no required textbook. The only thing that we're going to work with is readings that I'm going to post to Canvas. The one thing about that is that you won't have to buy a textbook, but you will have to print out the readings. This is really important. First off, think about it. You don't have to print out your essays anymore. You don't have to print out rough drafts. You don't have to print out any other thing that you would normally print out for classes. That's not needed. You're going to upload everything to Canvas, but what you do have to print out is all the readings, and I will put them on Canvas in the smallest form possible. It'll be like 2 pages per sheet, and then all you have to do is print it out double-sided, but I need you to be able to print the readings because you need to be able to write on them. And you'll see pretty quick here that it's really important to write on the text, to write your notes on it so that you don't have to read it again. I have a niece who's going to Rio Hondo right now, and she lives with us, and she didn't print out any readings that she's had for classes for her first 2 semesters, and she was having such a hard time being able to go back through material that she had to catch up on. If she would have written on them before, she wouldn't have even had to deal with rereading material. So I'm going to teach you how to read things so that you only have to read them once, pretty much. I know that sounds really simple and obvious, and you already know how to do that, and then, hey, this will be easier. But I need you to print out the readings, and I need you to be able to write on them, and you're going to show me this, and you'll see how I'll hold you to this later on. So the other thing you need is you need to be able to get on the computer. You need to be able to use Confer Zoom. You can use that from your phone, but I also need you to be able to look at the readings, so you'll have them printed out, so that's fine, but you'll need to be able to type up or write notes. So there's ways that maybe you can just use your phone at certain times, but you will have to be able to use a computer to be able to do research in class or during those live Zoom calls. So heads up about that. It's kind of important that you're able to participate in the activities that we go through together. Course description, blah, blah, blah. I already said that. Here's some course objectives. I'm not going to read them to you, but just understand that if you put in the effort that you need to in this class, then you're going to be able to do all this stuff by the end of the class, which means you're going to be pretty awesome. You can read over that in your own time, but just understand, you will be awesome after this class if you put in the right effort. Cool. These are student learning outcomes that the school makes us put in our syllabus. It's very minimal. Just you have to at least be able to do these things. And it's very vague, but it's comprehensive. Here's the other thing that you care about. What do you have to do in the class? Because yes, I do understand that you have a life. That's fine. But you also have to be able to keep up with this stuff. So, by the way, you're going to have a syllabus quiz. I should have said that earlier, but none of this stuff's on the syllabus quiz. So we're good still. Yeah, you're going to have a syllabus quiz. What I suggest to do is stop what you're doing and print this out if you haven't done it already. Go ahead. I'll wait. I'll wait. It's okay. Yeah, do it. Do it. Do I have to show you how to log into Canvas? All right, so we logged into the Mount SAC portal and we go to Canvas over here. So we log into Canvas, we go and we click on our class. I made it so that both classes are in the same shell. So this right here is only the CRN number for one of the classes, the asynchronous one, but both classes are in here. You guys have the same materials, everything. So you open this up. We're going to look at it in student view. This is what you should see. This might be out. You can just close that. You want your syllabus. Here you go. It's right here. I suggest downloading it because you have to print it out. So click here, or you can view it here, but that's not what you're doing. You're printing it out because you need to be able to write on it. You need to be able to see it while we're on a Zoom call together or whatever. I'm going to pull my copy up. All right, so hopefully you pause the video, and now we're going to keep going. Okay, so you'll have 4 essays. Notice essay packs. In all of the essays, except for the first one, there's not going to be a rough draft, but in the last 3 essays, you will have to do a rough draft. You'll have to have an annotated bibliography. works cited page, and there's going to be a couple different exercises or assignments that I'm going to have you do that will help you write the essay. So just understand that there's more writing on the essay than that final draft that you turn in, which is a good thing, because that means if you bomb the final draft, there's a bunch of other stuff going on in that packet that might help bolster up your grade. So it's actually a good thing, so don't freak out. So 4 essays, that may be a question on the syllabus quiz. Could it be that easy? Maybe it's something like, what is required in turning in each essay? Maybe that's going to be a question. I don't know. So everything that you send as a file needs to be in MLA format. Times New Roman, 12-point font, no extra spaces. I know all the tricks. 1-inch margins, not 1.5 inches, not a 14-point period in each sentence, so that it bumps up the line spacing, nothing like that. Double space, so that's good for you, right? Just don't screw around. Remember, if you try to cheat in any little way, you're not cheating me, you're cheating yourself. I know that sounds really cheesy again, but it's true. You're cheating yourself. So don't do it, right? Just follow the guidelines, and then you're not going to waste your time trying to nitpick and get to, like, if I say it needs to be 3 pages long, you're not just trying to work towards that. Don't even double space it until the very end, and just type up whatever you can, because it's all about the content, and you'll figure that out soon enough. Anyway, so the other thing is there is plagiarism detection software too that's already enabled on the link that you will put your final drafts in on. I'm not going to use it on the rough draft or anything like that. It's only going to be on the final draft. So just understand, also don't plagiarize, which, remember the whole cheating yourself thing? Yeah, I feel like we covered that. Okay, so this is the other thing. You will be able to revise 1 essay. So if you do bomb one of these essays, you will be able to revise any of them except for the 4th one, because you're turning in the 4th one the last day, so you won't have time to revise it, because you won't be able to get my feedback notes and then be able to turn it in again. There's not enough time. So you can revise number 1 through 3 and turn that in by Monday after classes are done. We'll talk more about that later too. Peer review, every essay except for the first one is going to go through that. You're going to be able to do peer review with your classmates, and we'll go over that later on, where you will turn in your rough draft to the link, then it will send you a link to someone else's essay who's already turned theirs in also, and then you'll have 2 days to peer review that person's essay, and you'll get credit for this. You get points for doing a rough draft, and you get points for doing peer review. So all of that goes into your essay packet grade, which will help better your chances of getting a good grade. So if it sounds like a lot of work, it's not. It's actually you practicing habits to make yourself a better writer. No one writes anything perfectly the first time. And if you've written an essay the night before class, chances are you know how crappy your essays have been when that's happened. And if you think that Andy Bernard from The Office is the person that you aspire to be.
I went to Cornell. You ever heard of it? I graduated in 4 years. I never studied once. I was drunk the whole time, and I sang in the a cappella group, Here Comes Treble.
Then hopefully you don't think that way by the end of the class. So I feel like I can make this bigger. Yeah, why didn't I do this before? So reading responses, they're worth 12 points each, and they have to be 400 words, so less than a full single-spaced page, which is like 500 words. But you have to do a couple of things here. So first off, you have to follow the directions for whatever readings that you've been assigned. You will go over here, so you've got RLD Notes for attendance, but then here's the first reading response. You're gonna read Plato's Cave. So you go into reading response right there. You're going to have the directions. These ones are more extensive than are on the syllabus. We'll go there next. But here are the directions for it, and then you just type it all up. You make sure it's at least 400 words, and you put your reading response in here, and then you attach your pictures of your readings. You just take a picture of them, and then you put it right there, sending me a picture of your notes on the readings. It'll probably be like 2 pictures. So fit them all on the ground and take a picture of them and then flip it over because they're double-sided, right? Then you're going to post your response, and then you'll be able to see everyone else's responses. And so if you did it right, there's the first 10 points. The last 2 points here are going to be from you responding to 2 different classmates. So pretty much just adding something of substance to the other reading responses from your classmates. And then only 4 responses. So if someone already has 4 responses, move on and go look at someone else's reading response. Remember, you've already written 400 words. It's not about how many words you respond to them. It's about the content of what you respond. So maybe you can write a response that's 50 words. Maybe you can write a response that's 200 words. It really depends on what you're saying and if it's useful. So if it's useful and just 200 words flows, that's fine, right? It's not a big deal for you if it just flowed, right? But if, whatever it is, maybe it's something that has to do with clarity. You're not actually sure what they're saying in the reading response, or maybe they misunderstood something about the text. You can help them understand, oh, you know what? I think you misunderstood them. They actually didn't say that. They said this. Here's the quote. Or you're taking their quote out of context because if you look at this whole section over here, they go back and they pretty much nullify everything you just said. Or, see, that's the thing. If you compliment someone, you're going to have to add something of substance, not just say, good job, my guy. You're going to say something like, oh, I totally agree with this. I wrote something about that too. If you think about this example on top of it, right? And so you add something more. So this will become more clear as we go through the classes. Anyway, directions are always going to be in here, and then it's as simple as everything else I just said. So those are the 2 ways that you do those responses. So there's going to be 15, I guess I should say this already, late work. There's no late work. You have a deadline. You get it done by that deadline. You don't have to worry about getting a flat on the freeway or anything like that. Being sick at home, you don't have to show up to class to get these up. You just go onto Canvas and you post it. There you go. So it kind of kills any excuse. Sure, this is more work, at least for me. I don't have to drive to school or put on pants. I'm wearing pants. I don't know why I felt like I need to say that. So yeah, let's scroll down to late work. Okay, so down on the 3rd page, you'll see here, no late work will be accepted. However, there are 2 exceptions. First off, there's another exception. If we're talking like 5 minutes, there's a glitch, the system is down, and you can't get it submitted within 10 minutes of the deadline or 15 minutes, I'm fine with that. There will be a timestamp for when you submitted it. That's fine with me. You definitely want to get your homework done before class. So if you're still trying to do your homework and then you submit it, but I don't know, we're halfway through class or 20 minutes into class, then you're missing class. And if you are a Saturday student, then that means you can be tardy or absent from class. And so you don't want to do that either. Try not to procrastinate. You're trying to make good habits here. So that's one of the things. I'll help you as much as I can, but you have to do the work. This is the other thing. So hard deadlines. No late work will be accepted. There are 2 exceptions here. So there's a late pass for the essays. So one essay can be turned in a full class period late. So meaning we're only meeting on Saturdays. Even if you're not in the Saturday meeting class, you're still going to be held to this kind of schedule. You have the same due dates, so it's going to be similar to when something has to be turned in with an essay, right? Even though we only meet once a week, there's still going to be, what we'll see later on, there's going to be homework due on Tuesday nights and Saturday mornings before class. So if you have an essay that's due on a Saturday, then you will have until Tuesday night to be able to turn it in if you use the late pass. So 1 late pass per student, and that is also, the late pass is found at the end of the syllabus. It used to be something that you cut out and stapled to your essay, but obviously that's not going to happen now, so we'll just make it so you send me a note attached to the essay or say I'm including the late pass for this one, I'll know because it'll be late also. So one essay you're allowed to turn in up to 72 hours after the original due date. That's the final draft. Rough drafts still need to be done on time because you'll also have to do peer review and everything like that. Also, in order to get credit for your rough draft, which is worth some points, it's worth significant points. It's you don't get credit for the rough draft unless you participate in peer review also. So it's about 25 points, 15 points for the rough draft, and 10 points for the peer review. So all that together, you get 25 points added to your score just for participating. For the rough draft being at least 2/3 of the length that it needs to be as a final draft, and then participating in peer review where you actually give someone feedback, like real feedback, not just like type 1 comment. I'll be able to see the feedback, so it's not like you can trick me on that or anything. So it's a significant amount of points. So you definitely want to do all that. That has to be done on time. But for the final draft, if there's something that happens and you just don't feel confident in that essay or you weren't able to get it done all the way, then there is one exception and you'll be able to turn that in late with a late pass. Then the other thing is with the reading responses. There are 15 chances to do a reading response. You will only be held accountable for 12. So if you miss one of them, it doesn't matter. You can miss up to 3 of them. However, I would really suggest not missing them early on because it's just going to get harder. Not just my class. My class will actually start out with you doing a little bit more work and then it'll get easier as it goes, except for the essays. The essays obviously are going to get harder, but your workload across all your classes is probably going to get harder. So if you skimp on the reading responses early on, you are going to hurt yourself later when you really need them. And I've had students do like only 6 of them, and that's a huge ding in your grade. 12 points each. If you miss half of them, you're missing like 72 points. So it's important to notice with all the points that everything's worth, the total that you can get in class is 1,000 points. So what do you need to pass the class? Well, we're not on a plus or minus system. If we were on that, then you'd need 73% to get a C, because a C minus is not a C. But we're not on the plus or minus system, so it's just a 70. It's just 70% or 700 points. But if you think you can get 700 points without putting in effort, not going to happen. Also, why would you only be going for a C in a class? You're planning on transferring, right? Okay, so C's could get you degrees, but also they won't help you transfer to other colleges. You really need to you need to learn. In college, you're doing this for more than just a piece of paper. You might think you're just doing it for the piece of paper. You go into a job and you say, here's this piece of paper that proves that I know how to do this stuff. And they trust you on it for 2 weeks, and then they realize that you don't know what you're doing, and then they fire you. And then that was embarrassing. You really should be looking at college as not just trying to jump through hoops to be able to get a degree. You should be actually looking at it as this is me learning how to do the things that I need to do in the real world so that people will... It's not just about you knowing your worth, it's about people understanding that it's worth it to pay you money for a job. I think that should be easy enough to figure out though. So with the reading responses, if you missed 6 of those, 72 points, that's over 7% of your grade. You're dropping letter grades really quick if you don't do these. So do them because they will help you do the essays. They will help you learn the material. They will help you practice the tools to equip you so that you are able to critically think in writing. Like honestly, if you put effort into this class, you will do better in every other class. That's not the same thing for math or science or anything like that, but this class will help you with every other class that you will ever take. This will help you with everything that you do in life. And I know that sounds like I'm bragging, but I mean, you should understand how important this is. Just go on your social media feed and see how absent this is. Anyway, The other thing you're going to do is you will have what we call RLD Notes. This is for readings, class lectures, and discussions. So I couldn't think of anything else to name it, so just leave me alone, all right? These are your RLD notes. So instead of quizzes, you're just supposed to take notes on the readings, on concepts, on lectures, on discussions that we have, and do them however you want. Like if you bullet point, if you paragraph, just free write like crazy. We will have some free writes in class also. Write those in there. So every week you are going to submit these through a link. So let me just show you the link. All right, so this is our homepage. You know you can close these, right? So this, I don't know why I leave this here. You guys all probably know how to use Canvas. If you don't, then there you go. Once you get logged in here, you can get plugged in with stuff. Make sure you have the mobile app on your phone. I used to highly recommend it, but now you have to have it. You're gonna get your links for Zoom and everything else through there. Links will be right here. So we were talking about RLD Notes. So if we go to the first week, you don't have RLD notes due this week. They are due on Tuesday of next week, and they're going to be minimal. They're going to be whatever we've covered so far, which is really just whatever we cover on Saturday's class. So those who are there live will be able to just write up those notes and post them even on Saturday right after class if you want. But those who aren't there, they'll have to watch the class and then they will take notes while they're watching the class. It would be good if you ask questions live, but it's hard to do that afterwards. So you can always ask questions during office hours, or we'll have a place where you can ask questions about classes. I'll put that around here, probably at the top. Anyway, so the RLD notes, this will be attendance, but it'll also teach you how to make good habits about taking notes on things. So you submit an assignment right here. They're always going to be due Tuesdays by midnight. Obviously, turn them in earlier than that. just those notes from the week. So put a date on it, put if these are from the Zoom call class meeting or if they are from the Tuesday homework. Make sure that it's indicated because that's going to be your attendance, but you also get points. You're not getting points for the attendance, you're getting points for the notes. So you only get 4 points each time. Doesn't sound like much, but once again, that adds up. 4 points in 15 installments, because there's 15 classes that you're going to turn in these notes for, equals 60 points. Hey, cool. If you just do this, right, if you just take notes actively watching something, you're actively participating, that's 6% of your grade. So yeah, you'll submit the document here. You may be able to cut and paste the text here. The thing is, there might be things that you want to draw. I don't know how you take notes. Maybe you want to draw the things. I draw things on the board. So you can either do a Google Doc or you can write in an old school composition notebook. Here's one, poof, there it is. If you write in one of those, all you have to do is take a picture or a couple pictures of the pages of that and then put it in the link there. And then, so that's just one really easy homework thing. See, don't think of it as homework, think of it as something you're doing while you're just going to class. You take notes on your readings, whatever it is. Something that you know is going to help, that you can look back to. These are the kind of notes that I'm talking about. Things that are important that you think might come back in class, because I'm not just going to give you any assignment and have it not be applicable towards everything else. So just so you know, I'm not going to waste your time. If you think I'm wasting your time, just know I'm not. You might be wasting my time if you're just acting like that the whole time. Everything is purposeful. There's no fluff. There's no waste here. So there's some pretty big claims. Anyway, so you submit your RLD notes here. Same thing with the essays. They will be quite easy. You just put them somewhere here. I only have 3 weeks posted that are viewable to you guys. So you'll see later that there's going to be a link for the essay, and it's going to be similar to that, but you're going to have to post it as an actual file. So Word document or a PDF. Otherwise, I can't actually give you feedback, which I will. I will always give you feedback for your essays. And so I generally give pretty good detailed feedback so that you can actually get better at your writing rather than just like give you a grade and then you have no idea why. So you're welcome in advance. Anyway, all right, let's go back to the syllabus. Really quick, quizzes. There's only going to be one, and it's going to be a syllabus quiz. I do reserve the right to give more quizzes, but that's only if you guys aren't doing the work. So I don't want to do that. That sounds like more work for me. So we're not doing quizzes unless you guys really suck. So class participation, make sure you are actively able to watch and participate. So the way I see that happening is you have your phone and then you have a computer, or you're doing all of this on your computer, able to take notes and comment and all that stuff. So make sure that you're able to do all of that. Have your readings out. If you don't have your readings out while we're in the pertinent class for that reading, and you don't have your RLD notes out, then you're doing something wrong. So attendance. Attendance is mandatory if you are in the synchronous class. Right now, I've got two groups of people watching this, and some of them might be thinking, man, why did I sign up for the Saturday class? And others might be saying, wow, it sucks to be that Saturday class. But actually, if you are in the Saturday class, you are, for one thing, being held accountable, which is really good to have. Accountability. I don't know how old you are. If you're young, you probably have a hard time being accountable. Like if you didn't have a job that would fire you if you didn't show up on time, then you wouldn't show up on time, or you would be late. If there wasn't mandatory start times for classes, then you'd walk in an hour late or just not show up at all. It's important to have accountability. And so for the Saturday class, that's what people signed up for, I'm hoping. And the thing is, if you're not in that class, I would still like to encourage you to show up. I'm going to put the links up for everyone so that anyone can go to them. But yeah, the people who are in the Saturday class, they have to, not only do they have to turn in the RLD notes, but they have to be there during the session and interacting. The thing is, they'll be able to do their homework faster. Let's just look and see what that looks like. If you go down to the third page, let me show you like this. Okay, so as you can see, this is the rest of the syllabus, and this is our tentative course schedule. So I won't change anything on here unless it makes things easier or better on you in some way. So don't worry about that. Let's say you have this Plato's Cave reading. So we have class on Saturday. So if it's due Tuesday, it's always due by midnight. If it's due Saturday, it's always due Saturday 9 a.m. when our class starts. That should be something that you get into your head as concrete. So you're better off if you are in the Saturday class. It doesn't suck for them. It's actually a good thing. So I encourage everyone to participate like that, but I'm not obviously going to hold people to that when they didn't sign up for it. So if we go back to the asynchronous, all you have to do for attendance is you have to post your RLD notes. But if you don't post them, it's similar to the Saturday class. When you have 2 classes a week, then you can miss up to 4 classes during the normal fall and spring semesters. But if you only meet once a week, then that one class is like 2 classes. So if you miss 2 classes, then you've missed 2 weeks of class. And I don't know how other professors teach, but if you miss 2 weeks of my class, you are drowning. You're not going to be able to keep up. So you can miss 2 times, but if you miss a 3rd time, that's when you get dropped. And I don't want that to happen. Honestly, it's weird because think about how this works out. Like, let's say you're in the asynchronous class. You're not getting a flat tire, you're not scheduling something at a weird time. You have days to figure out when you're going to do the work. So do it during time that you're not doing all your other responsibilities, that you're not working your 9-to-5 job, that you're not going to your dentist appointment. Understand, attendance is important, and so attendance for those who are asynchronous is making sure that you turn in your RLD notes as proof of actually watching the classes actively. So the RLD notes, the things that you get out of the lecture videos that I'm going to post to YouTube, and the Zoom calls that will be found in the Zoom section of our Canvas course. So Make sure that, just like with normal classes, don't be absent. Also, don't be tardy. Make sure that you're showing up on time. You can't really be tardy, I guess, or leave class early in the asynchronous classes, but I will know from your notes if you like, wow, they only took notes on the first 5 minutes. They took a lot of notes on the first 5 minutes, but what happened to all this other stuff that we covered later on? It's really weird that they don't have any notes about that when that was really important material. So remember the cheating yourself thing. Don't cheat yourself here. It's really simple, and I'm not going to give you anything that's like not worth your time. It's all going to be worth your time. And I don't have a big head. I have a big forehead, and that's a different thing. All right. So let me just wipe that down again. All right. So a couple other things here. Assignment formatting. I already told you. Everything needs to be MLA format if it's going to be a typed up document that you submit as a file. Canvas, we use it for everything. So make sure that you understand how to use it. If you don't understand how to do something with it, you need to tell me ahead of time and I will work with you. I'll send you like a YouTube video or something. You can figure that out. See, I mean, you can just go on YouTube and figure out how to do the thing that you need to do. But if you come to me and say, I don't know how to do this and I couldn't figure it out, I will point you to the right resources so that you can figure it out. So email, you can email me. Canvas messaging is better. I've got Canvas on my phone where it'll be like a text. It's like a text notification on here, whereas my email is not set up that way. So Canvas message me. And rather than in 24 hours, I'll probably be able to respond to you within like an hour. Even if I'm not home, I'll be able to tell you something wherever I'm at. Don't message me an hour or 3 hours before something is due, because I will probably be doing something where I won't be able to stop. Just don't wait till last minute for that stuff. You can always message a classmate and maybe they'll have an answer for you. So we'll do something later on where you'll be able to connect with your classmates so that you can have people to rely on or work with to make sure that you're all in this together, having to deal with me and my crap, but also the challenges that I throw at you. So classroom etiquette, don't be a jerk, be respectful. Like, you can call me out on stuff, you can disagree with me. I love that. That's what creates good class time, is conflict. So it's just being polite and waiting to talk. It should be pretty obvious that I will go on and on, long-winded like. So if you find a point to jump in, you can. Otherwise, keep your mic muted and then raise your hand. And then I'll see that someone's hand is raised, and then I will be like, oh, okay, I should probably wrap up this idea or wrap up the thing that I'm saying and then call on them. So however we need to do that. Just make sure to keep your mic muted if you're not going to talk, though. That's super important. Otherwise, like, there's air conditioning units or radios, or your brother's vaping and blowing vape into the mic, whatever. So here's some other resources. The Writing Center. The Writing Center is still open. These are their hours. They're definitely open to help, and you can make appointments online. So here, let me just, okay, boom. So here's the Writing Center website. Online front desk. You can register and make appointments. And they say their hours, they say all the different things that you can do with them. So register and make an appointment. Here, let's just go make an appointment right here. Sends you to this website, which I also have a link for. You just type in your username or you make a login. It's going to be slightly different. Yeah, they even have a little video. So cool. You can watch that later. But I encourage you to go check that out. You don't get points for doing it, but you will get points for turning in a good essay. So if that helps. All right. Access, formerly known as Disabled Students Programs and Services. Much better name now. So Access, that office is in the Student Services building, building 9B, or you can talk to them. So you can call them by phone, or you can go to their webpage and get all the resources that you need there. If you are an Access student and you're hearing something in what is going to be required of you in class that you will need different accommodations for, then please let me know as soon as possible so I can work something out with you. Now, we used to do in class essays. Obviously, that's not something we're going to do right now. We're not going to do any quizzes other than that one, and it's not going to be timed, or it's not going to be during class. It's going to be something you do before a certain class time. So do it however long it takes you. You're going to have your syllabus with you. So that's the thing. It's like I'm just handing you points for that. But yeah, if there is something that I have not really thought about, then yeah, let me know so we can work on it. As far as MLA, citation, grammar, any stuff like that, Owl Purdue's got all the stuff going on there. So go check that out if you need resources on that. I've also put links to some good grammar and MLA resources. Understand we're not really going to work on grammar in this class, but you will be held accountable to turning in final drafts that are fairly free from grammar mistakes. There can be a couple in there, but if you struggle with grammar to the point where you have multiple grammar mistakes in every sentence, that means you need to put more work in with it. It's an English writing class at a college level, so there is a standard. It doesn't matter if you have rough drafts that are riddled with mistakes and things like that. I need to be able to understand what you're writing, but if you spend time fixing your grammar after everything else, remember that's kind of key. You wait till the end to work on the grammar, but if you make sure that it's done and I can read your essay afterward, if you're able to go and revise and polish up an essay so that I can't tell that that's an issue, then why should that matter at all? So that's the way that I look at it. You'll need to take more time to fix your grammar, but that's fine. That's not a problem. When you do that, when you take the time to do that, you get better. We'll talk more about that later. The other thing that is a good resource, your peers. So this is really just silly that it's in here like this. People were going to write their names and their contact information in your syllabus, which obviously we're not going to do now, but you can always write those down there if you want, or you can just put them in your phone contacts. But it's really important to be able to remember who you can go to in class for assignments. So you're going to like buddy up with people, obviously after you figure out who the serial killers are. So, wait time for instructors. I guess I left this in here because even though we're not waiting at a locked door, maybe you are waiting with a Zoom meeting or something like that. So this still applies, 15 minutes, right? Academic integrity, we already covered this. Don't plagiarize, you'll get an F. Now we're at the course schedule. So it may seem like there's a lot here, but remember, I have the directions on here for the reading responses. So that's filling up space on the homework. Anything that's in bold is something that's due on that day. So does this make sense here? Classwork on that day. Obviously Tuesdays, you're not going to be in class, but there's still going to be things due. So rather than everything being due on Saturday, that would be crazy. So I split it up like a 2-day-a-week class. So things will be due Tuesdays and things will be due Saturdays. Occasionally something's going to be due on a Thursday, but just because this is the only way we can make it work, because you can't go to a class and do peer review for someone. So in this case, let's say here, if we scroll down here to essay 2 when we do peer review, see, Tuesday you have to have the rough draft in, and then Thursday you'll have to have the peer review for your classmates done, which is really just reading their essays and giving them feedback on it. And then you just post it back and then you get points for all that. And then Saturday, you've already gotten feedback. See, now you have from Thursday to Saturday, you have enough time to actually revise your essay. So it's important to make sure that there's enough time for all that stuff. So anything that's in bold, that's going to be something that's due on that day. And then anything else in there are still homework assignments, like the reading. So the readings might seem like a lot of reading, but if you think about it, these are like 2 pages. So there's like 2 readings and they're like 2 pages each. So don't make a deal out of it. Oh, this is like a 20-minute video with John Oliver. So, I mean, it's also entertaining. Yes, there's reading that you should be doing every class. It's an English class. Don't trip. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. How do you get better at writing? You write. But you can't just write about anything. You have to write about something. And so you have to read in order to have something to write about. And that will become more clear as we go. So each time, look, for this one, there's 3 readings, but I might cut one of those, and honestly, I think one of them's like a half a page. So that's just like, understand. I'm not giving you more than you need. Some classes that you have to read like 3 or 4 novels. There's no novels in this class. It's just short article-like readings. And the reason for that is, how many of you are English majors? So if we were in a room, here, let me just show you. Who's an English major? Exactly. All right, so we're gonna go over stuff that will actually matter to you. Yeah, okay, you get it. Anyway, this is it. It should be straightforward. So yeah, if you want to drop and find another class, go for it. This is what we're working with. At the very end, this sheet is not really as important as it used to be. I used to have students write down their scores here when I would hand back papers because I didn't always put things into Canvas right away, but I'm going to post your grades to Canvas right away. So, I mean, you don't necessarily need this last page, but it might help you be able to see what you're working with. Yeah. So you'll also notice it's only out of 1,000 points. I'm going to only grade out of 1,000 points, but there's an extra 10 points, and that's because I'm kind of a nice guy. Not really. I'm actually not a nice guy at all, so don't you ever call me a one. That's it for now. So take the syllabus quiz and then meet me in class, and we'll talk more about it. If you have any questions, write it down so that you don't forget. Thanks for listening, and hopefully that didn't drive you insane like it drove me insane. Yeah, I guess I look forward to having a fun semester with you guys. It won't be this bad. Going over the syllabus is always annoying. Hopefully I was able to edit this down so that it wasn't miserable. And then, yeah, let's critically think together. Gosh, everything I say just sounds so freaking cheesy.